This stack has to be moved. I have a mess in here again. I'm back in the little Paper Town workshop, and I'm just acclimating and thinking about how to get back into a workflow this morning. Many of you know that I left here on Thursday to travel and meet my friend Jay Hart. She has a channel also. We met through our journaling and we've become friends, and this is our second field trip together. This time we went to Greenville, South Carolina. So we both had significant drives. Jay drove much longer than I did. Anyway, I'm back. I came back Saturday, but it was late in the day, and I decided to, instead of coming here, just go straight to a gig that Jason had that evening. So I got there pretty much just in time for that to start. The name of this band that Jason played with Saturday night is called Manny O'Murphy. He's in several bands, but just look at this clip of everybody interacting with the song. Basically, yesterday morning, I feel like was my first actual time being home and unloading my vehicle, going through things, just remembering the trip. And I spent a lot of yesterday morning thinking about the trip, and it was just so nice. It was so wonderful. We did so many artsy things, a quilt show, an art museum. Every place we visited, we were talking about our journals, art, different genres of art and paintings, and what direction we want to take our own art and journals into. And of course, when you get home, there's this wonderful feeling of being home, but it's also kind of a letdown because you've been at a place where you don't have to worry about pets, you don't have to worry about cleaning, you don't have to worry about yard work. You've hopefully put aside some money where you can enjoy shopping a little bit. And when you get back to your routine, it's like, oh, I have all these clothes to wash and I need to get back in the groove of work. So, it's good, but it's also a little bit of a letdown. And I told Jason, I really just want to get out today. And this was yesterday, Sunday. And I don't want to lose this momentum of exploring the world around me and seeing what's out there to just recharge. It is so important to get inspired and to interact with things that make us happy. So Jason and I went out to the North Carolina Botanical Gardens yesterday afternoon. And that was so beautiful. But we walked around and looked at plants, and by doing things like this, getting out to see what's around you, you stay in tune with things that are going on. I found out that there is a native plant sale, North Carolina native plants, coming up in the next week or 10 days at the Botanical Gardens. So I'm going to go to that hopefully and get a few plants for the garden. Then we went out to eat. We went to a little Mexican restaurant. It's called, I think, the Fiesta Grill, and that's kind of out in the country. It was just a nice way to transition back into work life here. Now back at the art desk, I thought you might be interested in seeing the art bag that I carried with me. It's a really handy bag that I saw at a thrift store, and it was very cheap. I didn't know what I was going to use it for. We have a local store that sometimes they'll have a whole bin full of baskets that are free, or every bag is $1. And I know I didn't pay very much for this. I started not to get it, and I thought, this is just too handy. This is the journal that I carried with me, you might remember, and I have put so much into this. Jay and I really did have fun. We sat in the lobby of our hotel and spent some time journaling, and it was so much fun. But this fit right into this spot here, and I had planned that before I ever left. I didn't take any liquid paint. I've got watercolor sets. I've got my Caran d'Ache crayons. I had a new set of pastels that Jen sent to me to try out, and I love these, by the way, oil pastels. I don't use a lot of that, so I don't really know how to use it properly. I took my letter stamps, paper clips, safety pins, glue, all sorts of pins like this, my scissors, of course my handy masking tape. Jay and I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought a little stapler to have with me. I bought a little sewing kit. I bought a thing of buttons to make a really cute, it turned out to be a really cute embellishment for this journal, and I'll show you how I did those. I took just a couple of ink stamps and ended up not even really using these, although I did use the letter stamps. I did take a few ink pads. One of the things I learned from this is that you don't need a whole room full of art supplies. There was something really freeing about having only this. And look at this. You can carry this wherever you go. I put this on the floor next to the couch last night and did some art. It felt wonderful to have everything contained and to have some constraints. Although you know that I do like having a lot of stuff. I have to say it feels very good to be at the art desk and to be talking to all of you. And of course, we're going to pick up where we left off, and this is my most recent trashy art journal. I don't remember, have you seen the wire that I attached to the front? And then I put these little wooden mushroom charms that came from the Dollar Tree. I just painted these up a little bit and hooked them to the wire at intervals. That's a hair clip from the Dollar Tree. I don't know if you've seen this lid that came from a candle, and I just put a little painting on the inside. I did put some fabric and paper behind it to make it stand up a little bit before I glued it in. I'm not sure exactly how much I have added to this since you saw it last. I may have taped some art pieces into it, maybe a little bit more junk or extra pages, I'm not sure. I love having really sturdy, grungy, sort of trashy pieces of paper to work on. Let's just flip through in case there is something new that you have not seen. What I worked on while sitting on the couch last night was continuing with practicing face painting and making some grungy background pages. These are a little bit too big. After I made these, I thought, so how are you going to cut these up and put these into the art journal? But I will figure it out, and we can always paint more. I'm thinking maybe I should scan these first so that I can come back to these and do something different with these if I decide to. This is done pretty much with a tiny spray bottle with water and a black watercolor pencil and just some watercolor pans. And same with these two. I did glue down some vintage dictionary pages and let them stick just long enough to leave behind a little bit when I pulled them away. This one ended up looking a little bit like a heart. I came back and added some marks, and I love having things like this to work from, to add layer after layer. So for right now, I'm just gonna turn the camera off. I'm gonna play with my journal for a little bit and add these to the art journal. I'll be back really soon. Bye for now.